episode is sponsored by Coco Gauff. Do you know who Coco Gauff is, Julie?
Why does that sound familiar?
Oh my gosh.
Model?
No. Coco
Oh,
Gauff just won the US Open,
yes,
the tennis US
yes,
Open at
yes.
19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I am a tennis fanatic.
Interesting.
I
Interesting.
I'm gonna go buy a racket and balls. Yeah. I'm gonna get tennis lessons.
Dude, there was a solid 2 months when I was in high school that I thought I was going to be the next superstar tennis player. I had a
Just two
racket
months.
and a solid 2 months. They
Oh,
were good 2 months too.
uh-huh.
I had a racket and I
Mm-hmm.
had some balls and I
Mm-hmm.
had a dream. Nothing came
And sometimes
from
that's all
that.
you need. And actually, that's all I
Honestly,
have. So,
actually,
and
you don't even
actually,
have the racket
I don't even
yet.
have the racket nor the balls. It's just the dream. Or actually, it's delusion, but it's something.
In my case too, to be honest,
Yeah.
that's intense though. Tennis is it's intense.
Okay, listen.
I will.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I go on my walks. When I do my walks, I walk my
Okay.
4 miles, okay?
Uh-huh.
And I end the
Four
walk. I
miles.
do. I walk when I
Where
do
do you
my
go?
well, I walk down Fountain. And
Okay.
then
Well, don't tell people where you live.
they're not gonna know. I walk
Okay.
down Fountain and then I turn onto Olive. I go up the hill and then I come
Up the
down.
hill.
And then I go down to Santa Monica and then I come all the way back. But I end by going through the park that's by my house, by my place.
Okay.
I don't live in a house, it's an apartment.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um and and they have tennis courts there. And let me tell you,
I'm gonna hear it.
well, first of all, on one end
Okay.
of the park they have a basketball court. And then on the
Okay.
other end of the park, it's tennis courts. So I
Okay.
start off with watching the men play basketball.
What a
Oh,
time to be alive.
Lord have mercy. And then I
Uh-huh.
keep, and then I have to walk through where all the children are. And let me
Of
tell you,
course
there's
you do.
nothing more dangerous than walking through a park with children.
Oh,
First
tell
of
me
all,
about it.
they don't care that you're walking. Second of
They
all,
don't.
they're on some kind of contraption with a wheel,
If
whether
not
it
throwing balls at each other.
listen or crying or fighting or
Yeah,
like, no, I get it. They're children. I'm not angry at them. I'm just letting people know what my
right.
experience is because they're they're in the way.
And
and
your experience is valid.
and and they're thinking I'm in the way, but no.
They not only are they thinking it, they're behaving like you're in the way.
The amount of times I've almost got ran over by these little
Mm.
children, if it's not a scooter or a bike or one of those weird things that they
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
balance
The
on,
hoverboards.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah.
And like, I get it, the parents are out there just letting them roam free, so they're tired, no one's watching them, but like,
Yeah.
anyways. So then I make it to the
Uh-huh.
tennis courts,
Okay.
and let me tell you something.
I'm gonna hear it.
The men that are playing
Mm,
tennis,
yes.
Lord have mercy, what
Wow.
light through yonder window breaks. um it is it's one of the it's why I go on the walks. um
Of course.
yeah.
So you gotta have a reward at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyways, I'm ready for my tennis era, for my Coco Gauff era.
That's lovely.
Let me tell you something about Coco Gauff.
Okay.
I was on TikTok. I'm not watching tennis on TV, right? Because I haven't. But
Okay.
TikTok said, we're going to show it to you. And then I said, don't stop. Do not
Okay.
stop.
And
I've
you know
watched,
what? TikTok won't stop. So you see one, you're gonna see every angle that there
I
is.
have watched every single Coco Gauff TikTok that there is.
Wow.
I'm fascinated. But also, like, now I'm like, oh wait, look at her try. Like, there's one particular video where her and the opponent are going back and forth 40 times, and she finally is like, she uses I mean, she's a genius at how she did this, but she was able to move up the court. And I know nothing about tennis, so I don't know if this is actually correct. But I'm sure my friend Brian, who is a tennis player and expert, will let me
Mhm.
know. But let me tell you that Coco was like, they were going back and forth,
Mhm.
and Coco tried to get closer to the net, and she did that with hitting each ball. And then when she finally gets close enough to the net, she hits the ball in the opposite direction of where the opponent is, where she's now too far to catch the ball before
Mm.
it, hits the ground. And I mean, I can't do that play any justice in my description, but by watching it, I was enthralled and fascinated, and I can't wait to do that to somebody. And also, the video of her winning the US Open and then running up to her parents, I mean, I was bawling. It was
Yeah,
so beautiful. And she just seems so nice and cool. And, it's nice when good things happen to good people.
I
So,
agree. I love to see people win.
Coco, come on the pod. Would
Coco, come on the
love
pod.
to discuss many things. Also,
Mhm.
Ben Shelton, who's another tennis player who didn't win. Um, what a little cutie patootie. Cutie
Mm.
patootie. Mm-hmm. So
Okay, Ben.
consider me, consider me a tennis girly, a tennis fan.
I love that for you. I love this journey for you.
Thank you.
I don't have the emotional capacity to get invested into a sport like that
God,
because I'm at the end of
I
my
see.
rope with things to get obsessed about.
I see.
But I personally very much love that journey for you. Tennis is absolutely fascinating to me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Well,
fascinating
now
to
it is.
me.
It wasn't before, but now it is. I mean, I've
It's
always been
mhm.
intrigued by tennis, by the idea of playing tennis, but now I'm
Yeah.
like, now I want to play. You know what I mean?
Okay. Are you gonna?
Yeah.
Okay, no, but for real?
No, I'm not kidding.
Okay, no, I love
I'm
this for you.
I'm committed to playing. Well, I'm committed to learning how to play and then playing.
Okay, what are we doing? What's the plan? Like, what's the game plan to get you on that court?
Well, I already asked Brian where do I find a tennis lesson person?
Okay,
Um, and so I need to respond to him. Brian, as soon as
I
this is
love that.
done, I'm going to respond to you.
Lovely.
Yeah, because
I
he
love
responded
that.
back to me, and now I need to respond to him. But it was a busy day, and I haven't gotten back.
That's all right.
And there's
That's all
tennis
right.
courts. Also, the accessibility to tennis courts that are right down the street for me are makes it
Right.
very
Right.
intriguing. And also,
Uh-huh.
like, obviously, like you play with somebody, but they have one of those I call it a handball a wall, when
Oh,
in
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
elementary school when you played handball. They have one of the
I think that's what they are.
maybe well people use it to like play tennis against the wall. I mean, I don't know if you call it tennis, but they hit the ball against the wall. I want to
Right.
do that whenever I don't have anybody to play tennis with.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll join a tennis league. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be absolutely fun. That would be a journey that I didn't expect from you, but I would love for you.
Now, I could show up to these lessons and be like, this is the hardest thing I have ever experienced in my entire life.
And you know what? It feels like you should get to that space right now because it feels like that is the reality of the situation. But I have full faith that you will continue to do it until, I mean, look, are you going to master it? I don't know about mastering that, but I think you'd be able to play a game. I don't
I
think
mean,
that's beyond.
yeah, I could probably play the average person. I'm not going to go play Coco
Absolutely.
Golf. I'm not going to be Serena, you know?
I don't think any of us
Well, right.
thought that that was the journey for you,
Oh, okay.
but I
Well,
at least think I at least
okay.
I
Well,
do
listen,
think
when Blue Ivy is singing the song at the Oscars after my tennis movie,
uh,
then we'll talk about that.
that'll shut me the fuck up, is what that'll
Uh-huh.
do.
Mm-hmm. And now
Yeah,
when I
well,
accept my award, I'll be like, look, Julie, do you see?
yeah,
And that's gonna be my
that'll
entire
show me.
speech. And I'll just literally drop the Oscar. Because that's not the one
Yeah,
they actually give me. It's a fake one. And so I'll just
right.
drop it and be like, take that. as you're sitting there in the audience.
That will show me. That
Yeah.
will show me. Yeah. That'll shut me up.
And you'll be like,
Oh,
okay.
you're funny.
Welcome to Me and Chisme, your number one source for chisme on the internet. Julie and Adrian here. Julie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome.
Okay.
Look at us. We're doing good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week.
Julie, you look lovely. Your hair looks like it's been tousled and fun.
Yeah, I've had a long day. My back hurts, my legs hurt, my feet hurt, that's all that hurts.
Mm,
I'm just tired. Work said, you want to work, bitch? Because
mm.
we're gonna put you to work. You haven't worked the last 200 days, but today, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
200
No,
days.
but I'm kidding. But today we had a picnic at work. Um, so that
Is
was a
it like an
different kind of work.
appreciation picnic?
Yeah, like an appreciation, a thank you to everyone.
Okay.
There was tacos, there was backyard games, there was a tug of war, there
Wow.
was a water balloon toss, there
A
was
water balloon toss.
raffles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know when you
I know what a water
and then you
balloon
take a
toss.
step.
I know.
You said it like you've never heard those three words put next to each
I know,
other.
but I'm not sure that I would want to, like get wet while I'm at work.
It was hot.
Yeah, but like
You're at the park.
did people did people go back to work after?
Some like me came home, but
Okay.
some went back to work.
Okay.
No, but people loved it. They started a water balloon fight, and then I got hit.
Who hit you?
Jenny accidentally, she didn't meet one of my managers.
Mm,
She was trying to hit the director, and she did hit the director, and then but I was standing next to the director, so the water got on my leg.
hmm.
And then I
Interesting.
was a part of the water balloon toss, even though I was like, "You don't want me as a partner, Brianna?" She said, "Yes, I do," and we lost both times. Thanks to me both times. So
The water balloon broke on you.
the water balloon broke on me both
And then
times.
what? And then where did you get wet?
On my legs and my
Mm,
hands.
mm, hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I won't be playing anyone against tennis anytime soon because I can't even do a water balloon toss correctly. But it was fun. I like that my job goes out of their way to interact with employees, like the managers and like like a normal, like the directors and the employees were against each other on the tug of war. Like it was fun. People got to brag that they beat managers. It was a funny time. um yeah, I like that they do stuff like that because it makes it more, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're dealing with stress. I'm having a blast talking about movies, but the most of the people at my job are doing real shit that affects the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just here having a good time. But
Mm-hmm.
they're actually doing things and building things that affect and help the world, the actual world. I wish I could tell you guys, but there's something that's been in the news recently that was worked on at my job. And every time they talk about it, I'm like, oh, that's wild. Like,
Uh-huh.
I know people that worked on that. That's wild.
Uh-huh. Is it the aliens?
It's the paper mache alien that the Mexican government presented.
I
We had a
mean,
competition to see who could build the best alien, and we won. And then we got to gift it to Mexico, and then they presented it. And then we didn't know they were going to present it as a real alien. What's going on out
I
there?
don't know, but people are silly. I mean, it's everyone's in their silly
Mexico.
era.
You know what's crazy is that, babes, the Mexican government presented it, not like Pancho down the street on a live stream. No, babes,
Yeah.
the Mexican government opened their Congress doors to say, come look at this alien.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's funny. And it looks like the movie Aliens. Like they
It
couldn't even
literally looks like ET.
Yeah, it looks like ET. They couldn't even try to like make something that doesn't look like what we know them to look like. I mean, it's just very funny.
It looks like ET lost his belly, and that's what and then now the Mexican government said. But you know what's hilarious? Well, obviously this is there's really that it's not an alien. Babes, I hate to break it to you guys. If one of you actually thought it was an alien, DM me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. But the funny thing is that people like they present it, and not even the conspiracy theorists paid it no mind. The world is so fucked up that they're like, we got bigger shit to deal with. Mexico, if you could calm your shit down, take a nap. But you
Right.
know, if there's one thing that Mexico's gonna do is commit to the bit.
Right. And commit they did.
And commit they did, because we still talk about La Llorona. So if there's one thing a Mexican's gonna do is they're gonna commit to the bit, because the
Commit to the bit.
chupacabras is real, and I believe it,
Right.
and you believe it. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Ah, what a time
Wild.
to be alive. What a time to be alive.
What a time to
Well,
be
and then
alive.
there was that man that I what did work for the government. I'm not sure. The one that man that came to speak to the United States Congress, and he's like, "Oh, they're real," and then nobody really batted an eye.
Okay, here's the thing. It's from what I understand is the US government has actually confirmed the existence of something out there,
Right.
of some sort of other being that is out there. Apparently that is a real thing. But also the world is so fucked up that none of us
Right.
paid any attention to that news. The government basically said, yes, bitches, aliens are real. And we said, okay, Britney Spears is free. So what do you want us to focus on? Like, we're dealing with a lot. In sync reunited. Like, please leave us alone. Yeah, it's just, I mean, what do you want us to? Y'all can barely handle us.
I know.
And now you want to talk about some other being? Focus on the important stuff. People are dying.
Right.
Yeah.
People are dying. Julie, your nails are so cute. Let's talk about what
Sorry.
really matters.
Thank you so
Put
much.
them closer to the camera.
I shall.
So cute. When did
Thank
you get these
you.
done?
Like 2 weeks ago, you can tell like I kind of need them done
Oh
already.
yeah.
Okay,
So
well, we
cute.
didn't need.
Oh, well, you're the one who brought it up. I was just agreeing with you. They're so cute. I love
Thank
them.
you. Oh my God,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah.
I love
Anyways.
you.
Okay, thanks. I love you.
Oh my God, look at us.
Julie said she was going to stick something up my butt before we started recording.
I did say that.
And
And
I
he
said,
said, okay.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I
You did.
did.
Because he's dirty.
Um, I'm freaky.
Oh, okay. I'm both. I'm just kidding.
We're so lame. uh,
Yeah, we are.
that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. Do you have anything else you want to tell the world?
Um, I don't think so.
No.
Nothing going on over here.
All
Just
right.
yeah, nothing going on over here. I'm trying to think. Still watching Survivor. Watching What May Be. I just watched the second chances season. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching the one right after that. Blindside after blindside after blindside again.
Which one is this one?
It's the I don't know what it's called. What's it called?
Is
I
it
was just
is it 32 or 33?
It's 33 millennials versus Gen X.
Oh, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Zeke is on there, but I've already seen the spoiler of Zeke in another season of
Uh-huh.
when he gets outed.
Oh, this is the Zeke oh, uh-huh.
But it's his first season, so he doesn't get outed in this one.
Right, 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 right.
Um,
Did you see that season where he got outed?
I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the clip on TikTok and I couldn't stop watching it, so I already know what happens.
It's the next season. It's season 34.
Oh,
Yeah. He goes back to back.
damn. I can't People that go back to back are wild.
Yeah. I forget who wins this season.
Don't tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you.
I almost Googled it
Um,
and then I said no, because there's a lot of top contenders. And Zeke was one of them, but he got voted off.
Mm,
It honestly feels like at this point, where am I? They just voted off Will. That's where I'm at.
mm-hmm,
I feel like at this, with the six that are left, anybody would be a worthy winner
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I
at this point.
remember.
And I'm really obsessed with, oh, if you haven't watched the season of Survivor, I'm so sorry. But I am really obsessed with, oh, what are their names? Jay and Adam's hate friendship that is
Uh-huh.
building.
Uh-huh.
They made me cry yesterday on the
Uh-huh.
episode of yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Okay, do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, when Adam's like, I haven't told anyone in the game this, but my
Mm-hmm.
mom has stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
And then the guy pulls his thingy down so he doesn't see him cry. And they're laying on a hammock together. If you don't know what we're talking about, you are not having a blast right now. But let me tell you, I'm living my best life. But when he
Yeah.
pulls his thing down so he doesn't see him crying, and then oh, and then he's like, I've been afraid that my mom's gonna die for the last 90. Oh, sobbed. I had to pause. I was crying so hard. I was like, these two kids who very clearly are somehow magically meant to be in each other's lives, but are
Mm-hmm.
actively working against each other, and they don't particularly enjoy each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
But they're fully aware that they love and hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Listen,
they gonna break
Survivor,
are they gonna
Survivor
break my
is
heart? Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you.
What
Survivor
if they end up top 3? Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Survivor is such a is it's so good. It's so good because there's so much that you can get out of it.
The layers
The layers.
and the growth.
It's a very layered show. Very layered.
And you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first season that I'm seeing a lot of people use their advantages for other people. They're not even
Mm.
using it on themselves. Immunity idols are being given away or being used to save somebody. Someone like, I'm going to use this for Hannah. I'm going to use this for Ken. Like, and the advantage that Adam had that he gave to Jay, his enemy,
Yeah.
because good, oh my god, all like I think this is the first season that I've seen so much of that
Yeah.
happening, of them using their advantages to save other people. It's the biggest and most important and wildest study on the human existence
Yeah.
and how people interact when they're isolated from their safety
Mm-hmm.
and have the possibility of changing their lives drastically.
And the most vulnerable, like you're so vulnerable out
You're
there. Like,
hungry,
yeah.
you're not sleeping right,
Yeah.
you don't have your safety, you don't have loved ones.
You're wearing a bikini.
You're wearing very little clothes that keeps falling off because you're losing weight like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Put me on that island just to lose the weight. And it's so, and you're forced to interact with people that you would never in your life
Right.
actively be in each other's lives. Like Adam and Jay, their personality, like very easily, if they ran into each other in a classroom, would be like, fuck you for life. But now they're like, fuck you for life, but we have to live together.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's
Julie
glorious.
turned into quite the survivor stan.
Dude, it's a problem. I'm out here looking for a Survivor contestant to come on the show. I have so many questions. Every time I watch an episode, I leave it with more questions, and I've made I send Candace voice memos about it. I'm like, okay, so the bathroom situation. What do we think is that? Also, a question that I have for these look, I know that it's television, and I know there has to be some. I don't know if Big Brother Mexico fucked my brain up that I'm like, everything is just authentic. It's 24/hour, 24/7 live stream, that it's just happening the way it is. Obviously, Survivor's not like that. I'm wondering, when when they're explaining challenges to them,
mhm.
that Jeff is like, on this challenge, you're gonna grab these things and then you're gonna do this. I'm wondering, do they get a visual of what it's supposed to look like, or do they just go by Jeff's description of the challenge? Because sometimes I'm not watching and I'm just listening and he's explaining it and I'm like, I wouldn't know how to do this because it sounds confusing. I'm a visual learner. So do they have someone go through the challenge in front of them so that they know what it's supposed to look like?
I think for some parts, yes. For parts that are probably more dangerous, yes. And I
Okay.
actually think that Jeff isn't the one explaining the rules to them. I think
I
that
also think that.
there's like the competition people, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
producers that are explaining the games to them.
Jeff's is a voiceover. Like
Yeah.
he does it in a studio
I mean,
somewhere.
I'm sure he has a very like what we hear is what he says, but that's not enough. This doesn't, and they have to be able to ask questions too, and we never see them ask questions.
Right.
So yeah, I have a feeling, yes. I mean, the some of the challenges are just too complicated or like risky to
That's what I'm
just,
saying.
yeah.
And sometimes his descriptions, I'm like, if I was standing in front of you
Yeah.
and you describe that to me, I'd be like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Okay.
there's, yeah.
If you have a Survivor contestant in your life that wants to be on a podcast, please send him our way. I have so many of the most random questions you could think of, not even regular questions. Do they wear sunblock? I mean, the weirdest questions that, like, why does your brain think like that? I don't know, guys, but it does. But I'm dying to interview a Survivor contestant. The day that that happens will be top 5 best days of my life.
Okay.
I
This
don't
is
even care who it is.
so funny. Okay. I believe you. I believe you. Okay. Well, speaking of nothing to do with Survivor,
Great.
but the survival of relationships.
Look at you transition, bitch.
You're funny.
That's amazing. Give him a talk show, bitch. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Ellen DeGeneres never transitioned like that into a topic. That
Okay.
bitch didn't know how to do it. The fuck?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that. I'm a wordsmith, yes.
Yes, you fucking are.
Um, Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet.
Sorry. Okay.
Obviously, we all know that they're a hot new item. They were seen
Yes.
making out at the Beyonce concert. They
Like the couple in
were
front of you at Six Flags.
they were seen at the US Open.
Oh, yes.
Um and there's been this question. What? How does that make sense? How does Kylie Jenner
Oh,
and Timothy Chalamet make sense? Have you not heard that question? I've heard that
I've
question.
heard that question, but I don't understand it.
You don't understand the relationship or the question?
I don't understand why people are surprised by it.
Well, that's a good question as well.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of people have been saying like, what do they have in common?
Right.
How does this work?
I would say they have a lot in common, but okay.
Well, I think they also have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Because also first of all, let's not for I mean, do we need to bring up the photo of Timothy Chalamet hanging out with Kanye West and Kid Cudi and was it Travis Scott? I think.
I
Who
didn't want
knows? I
to
don't know.
say something like that, but because I don't know if it's going to sound weird. And I mean this with all of the respect in the world, but my first thought was they both gravitate towards Black culture.
uh,
And that's a reality.
right. Yes.
That's what I'll
I
say.
mean, no, absolutely. That's 100. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
On top of the fact that they're both rich, they're both famous.
I mean,
And
babes.
I mean, and they, to Julie's point, all know a lot of the same people.
Yes.
But my question here is, do you need to be in a relationship with somebody that has a lot in common with you? Do you need to share a lot of commonalities for that relationship to be successful? Julie?
I wouldn't say a lot of things in common, but I do think there needs to be some common ground at some point, or you have to be in a relationship with someone that is very much willing to love the things you know what I mean? Like, I think of like some of my biggest heartbreaks have been not even with romantic relationships, but just friendships of like, I want to go see this thing, and someone is like, that doesn't sound fun to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about. But this need of maybe you don't love it, but I would love for you to be excited because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's of whatever, a movie, a hobby that you have, like whatever. I don't need you to love it and I don't need you to understand it, but I want you to be excited for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's true for most all relationships, I would say. The amount of times I'm like, I know you don't understand it, mom, but I need you to love it like I love, you know what I mean? Does my mom understand a podcast? No, but I want you to be excited about it.
Uh-huh. Right.
But so it's that of like, I don't think you need to have a lot of things in common with someone. And honestly, I think it's often better that you don't have a lot of things in common
Sure.
with a romantic partner. But I do think that it's important to love your partner's excitement about some things.
Right. You may not need to have a lot of things in common, but you have to be willing to do the things that they want to do and vice versa.
Yes.
Um, I don't believe that you need to have terribly too much in common, but I do think that there needs to be some kind of you can't hate the things that I love. You know, I love to
Right.
watch the Real Housewives of any city, and you may not need to watch them. And actually, that's great because I like to watch them with my friends, and like that's what we bond over, right? So not having you as interested is probably great, but
Right.
don't don't make fun of me or don't look down on me because I watch the Real Housewives. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't stand someone that looks down on anything that someone else likes. That is my biggest pet peeve. If anyone shits on something that you love, that's not someone you need in your life.
Mm,
It's just not nice. I don't
mm-hmm.
like it. I don't like it. It's a little lean. I don't like it. Even if it's the dumbest shit, why can't you just let me have my joy?
Right.
Just let me have my
And
joy.
why does that bother you? Let's talk about that. Why does that bother you?
Why does it bother you?
That's the real question.
You know when I worked at the first hotel that I worked at in Orange County, it was when I was at my peak Jason Mraz stage in my life. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to listen to him all the time and I used to talk about him all the time and I used to go to every single one of his shows. You know, he's going to be in Dancing with the Stars.
I was waiting for you to finish so I could bring that up.
He's
Well, wait,
different.
how do you feel about that?
I feel like, what are we doing, Jason? I feel like Jason Mraz, here's the thing. I feel like Jason Mraz lost his way ever since I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it loud and proud. Ever since he started fully collaborating with the band Raining Jane. Their music became bland. His music became bland. Their harmonies are not the same. Their shows were not as exciting. When he was
Raining
collaborating with
who?
Raining Jane, it's a four-woman band. I mean, not nothing against him. I actually know Mona. I'm so sorry, Mona. But babes, it's
Does
just not the
Mona listen to this
same.
podcast?
I don't know. What if she does?
How do you know somebody
Because
in
I
that
was
band?
heavily into Jason Mraz for a minute, and then I made friends with this. Oh, it's a long story. I made friends with this one girl that knew Christina Perri, and Christina Perri and Jason Mraz did that show at the Hollywood Bowl, and we went to get to it together. And she got to go backstage, and when that was happening, I interacted with Mona, and then at the next concert from stage, Mona was like, "Oh my God," and then we chatted a little bit on Instagram and stuff. And it's a long story. I was very into Jason Mraz.
Well, show us your tattoo.
It's right here. And I
Yeah.
stand by it, by
No,
the
it's
way.
beautiful. I love
As
it.
ridiculous as I think the decision to be on Dancing with the Stars is, I stand by my love for Jason Mraz. My point was going to be, we'll get back to Dancing with the Stars if you'd like, but my point was going to be when I first worked at the hotel, I was peak Jason Mraz. And people used to actively shit on me about it. Like, that's so embarrassing. He's fucking lame, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And all I wanted to say, which is not, you killed the vibe, right? This isn't what I was going to say. But all I wanted to say is, you don't fucking know why I love Jason Mraz so much. But in 2013, I almost killed myself. And his song is what saved my life. But you're not going to say that because that kills the vibe, right? But it's like, you just don't know why people love the shit that they love. Just let them have
Right.
their joy. Just
Right.
whatever it is. Like, do I like, your reality shows? You know what I mean? Would I watch Housewives? Do I find them ridiculous? No. But am I going to let you have your joy? I mean,
Well, right. And also,
if
if you did watch them, I know you would love it. So,
no, I can't.
no, why?
I can barely do Selling Sunset, and I fast forward through 90% of their conversations because they make me so uncomfortable. What am
Oh
I even
gosh.
watching? The real estate part of it, which is 5 seconds of a 30-minute show. But yeah, it's just ridiculous because I every time someone tries to shit on something that I love, I think about why I love it so much. And I'm like, am I going to tell you that I almost killed myself? No, I'm
Right.
not, my man. But you don't know why people gravitate towards something so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you date somebody who had different political or religious views
No.
than you? Oh.
Religious, maybe. As long as they're not trying to convert me
Mm-hmm.
or make me or trying to force me to participate in it. Not that I'm opposed to, if you're like, it's Easter, I want to go to church, I'll go to church with you. I'm not going to be rude about it. I will have a good time. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're actively trying to be my father and say, maybe you need to read the Bible, I'm going to say, why are we together?
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Could you?
No. No.
No.
No, we would have to be politically aligned.
Yeah.
Religiously, be I would want us to be also aligned in that because I think those are two things that are too important on how you view the
The
world,
world.
which
Hmm.
then translates to how you see a lot of other things that may
Yeah.
not be as apparent in the moment, but when things start to get real, um, yeah, I'm not a particularly religious person, and so I would want the same in my partner. I'm a very liberal person, and so I would want the same in my partner.
Yeah.
I can't see having a relationship with somebody who has like completely different political views than
Oh,
you,
no. No.
because to me that is like at the core of how you feel about humanity.
And people do
And
it.
which is so weird. Well, which are people that are like, oh well, I saw somebody on a dating profile say, I don't talk politics or whatever. And I was like, okay, first of all, boring and stupid because like what? I mean, I'm not talking about politics. I actually rarely talk about politics with anybody,
Right.
but I'm not gonna not talk about things. And
Right.
also it like how you view the world dictates how you move through the world.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not going to be with somebody who has opposing who moves through the world in an opposing manner. Not to
Yeah.
say that they have to think and be like me, but we have to have some of the same common ground foundational
Yeah.
thoughts, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, no.
Interesting. You know what? You know the only reason why I don't I was gonna make a stupid joke. I was gonna say the only reason why I don't fully close the door to a different, like being involved with someone with a different religion is because what if the rapture is real?
What
They
do
could
you think?
save me.
They're going to hold on to you?
They're gonna hold on to me while they go out
Uh-uh.
there. No, they will because we'll love each other. Because we'll
Okay.
love each other. Um,
Sure.
I'm kidding.
until they
You know,
tell until they tell them, well, you can't come in with her. So
imagine. They'd let
and then
me.
they'd leave you in a
They'd
heartbeat.
leave me in a second.
Yeah.
In a
You can't
second.
trust those people.
You can't trust them. That is a good point. You know what I think of when I say that about religious people, I think of someone um like casually religious. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, I know what you
Someone that
mean.
at the end of the day I would align with because it's more about their morality being in line with mine. I wouldn't be open to dating a religious person that is so religious that they think that gay people are going to go to hell, right? Like that's not
Right.
something that
Yeah.
I would ever be like, oh, okay. I mean, well, it's your religion, so what do I have to say in that? So yes, I agree with it has to align with the way that we view the world because I can't even be friends with someone where we don't align in our political beliefs and their religion isn't affecting the world in a negative space, you know? And if it is, then I can't be friends with you.
Right. Or at the very least, very self-aware. Self-aware of
Yeah,
what because all religions I think have a good side and a bad side, particularly like
100%.
organized religions. And so like, are you
Right.
self-aware of all of the um atrocities that the religion you prescribe to has committed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
do you think Kylie and Timothy talk about religion and politics?
I think Kylie and Timothy talk about very little, but I think they're fucking.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
you know what? Everyone that's so shocked by this, we're acting like Timothy Chalamet has these standards that we would never even like these standards that are like beyond your comprehension that he's looking for a woman that's beyond our the people that are a lot of people that are having this conversation seem to think that Kylie Jenner is below Timothy Chalamet in some way, shape, or form. There is a very believable rumor about Timothy Chalamet that we need to all accept. And if it were to be true, then we need to all realize that his standards are everybody.
What's the rumor?
This is a rumor. You can't sue me.
Like, yeah,
And it's
what's
been
the
repeated multiple times, Timothy.
allegedly?
Allegedly, Timothy Chalamet was the great giver of chlamydia in New York City between a couple of years that he went to the university.
Uh,
Everybody was getting chlamydia. And if you traced it back, the line would go straight to Timothy. That is a rumor that is very well known in New York City. And the blogs, everyone talks about it. So if it is to be true that this is a thing that happened, that Timothy Chalamet gave chlamydia to a lot of people, his standards are everybody. Everyone was getting it. He was getting it with everyone, and everyone was getting it. And you know what? Good. He found what worked for him because honestly, if he wasn't rich and famous, having his body type,
there's a lot of
all it
people who are into twinks, okay?
I'd be afraid I'd break him. When he was with
Sometimes that's
Asa,
part of the appeal.
oh my goodness, there are people that are into them.
Right? Yeah.
There's
Well,
people that are into people just sitting on them.
yeah.
I saw it on Maury.
Okay. There's a lot of people into a lot of things, Julie.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, I mean, first of all, 100% believe that rumor about Timothy Chalamet. Second of all,
100%.
I mean, just because he's made a highbrow movie here and there, which I mean, let's maybe look at his catalog, does not make him this think piece type of walking thespian. It's
You just have to watch an interview of his to see that he's not.
yeah. I mean, the man is acting, by the way. He didn't write any of these movies.
He didn't write it.
And second
You
of
see
all,
him with the book one time and suddenly.
and second of all, Kylie Jenner is a self-made billionaire as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
And I think that she's an incredibly smart woman, and comes from an incredibly smart family. And so I may
Oh, I
say,
was going on the opposite end of that. I was
well,
gonna say they're both duds
let
living
me
their
finish
life.
my thought.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And
I mean, you go ahead, baby.
I would say that she may be even smarter than he is.
Okay.
So take that.
Okay. I think no, but honestly, I love that for you. And at the end of the day, bitch, they are both worth more than all of our listeners and us put together. So, so I don't know, babes. Maybe we have some very rich
I'm sure
listeners,
we do.
but you know what I mean. Like we can't even people that get upset about people hooking up is because they have this obsession. It's like this obsession of like, and it's like you didn't have a chance, babe. It
Right.
wasn't, you know what I mean? You
Right.
could have stayed in line in that imaginary line to be the next one, but he was never going to get to you.
Right. Right.
But I love it. But I love that they're so into each other. I love people that you can tell they're fucking. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
There's like, oh, this people they're doing it. But then
Hmm.
there's fucking. And you can
Hmm.
tell they're fucking.
Hmm.
I think back of remember those pictures of Timothy Chalamet and Aisa Gonzalez
Hmm.
on in that pool?
Hmm.
I just remember looking at those pictures and saying, he has no idea what he got himself into. That is too much of a woman for him.
Hmm.
She's gonna break him.
Hmm.
And I bet she did. And I bet she I bet she
Fractured his little body.
did. Yeah. Oh, Timothy. Timothy, come on the pod. We'd love to chat with you about
Yeah.
the years you lived in New York City and
Kylie,
what
come on
was
the
going on.
pod.
Kylie,
Would
come on the
love to
pod,
chat with Kylie. Kylie and Timothy, come on the pod together.
please. And if they do, I always believed in their love, and you guys know it. And they are perfect for each other, and you know it, and I know it.
I mean, it's the greatest love story ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever dated someone that in the midst of the relationship you were like, oh, bitch, we are so the opposite of each other? What blinded me here? How did I get to this moment?
Yeah, every person I've ever dated.
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm just kidding. No, I've never dated anybody long enough to have that realization because usually it's
Okay.
the realization either came very soon into the date,
Yeah.
um, or within the first couple dates where I
It
never
doesn't
went.
grow into more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Oh, interesting.
womp womp
I mean,
womp.
that's almost better though, to not get to a point where you're like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, I'm not somebody. I think who falls quickly.
Okay.
So,
What's that like?
I would say it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
I mean,
Probably better.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I've talked to men before where it was like, you don't know me. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak for them, but I got the sense that they were very into it. And I was like, we just started chatting. How do we don't
Right.
know
It's
too
been
much.
24 hours.
Yeah. And so, yeah. Well, congratulations to the happy couple.
Congratulations to them.
Wish them nothing but love and success.
Agreed.
Next up, it's time for America's favorite segment on any podcast, and this is the hardcore truth. Um, it's time for the pop culture pop up. First up on the pop culture pop up, Julie, did you watch the VMAs?
I I watched the Twitter feed of the VMAs.
Yeah, I did not either. I didn't watch them. I watched Shakira's performance last night on YouTube, and then
Oh, I watched that.
other than that, I've just seen tweets. But your girl Taylor Swift was there.
Yeah, she was
I was gonna say
drunk.
drunk out of her mind, but I don't want to. I don't know if
She
that's true.
was drunk.
She was happy, having a good time. She won an award.
She won a lot of them.
She was there with Ice Spice,
She was there with Ice Spice.
and Sabrina Carpenter,
Also there.
and somebody else that I'm not too familiar with.
Yes.
But she was having a grand old time. Did you? Is there?
She was
Was
having a
there?
blast.
She was having a blast, and you know, I mean, they keep the camera on her,
There was a camera on her the entire award show.
and
And Uh-huh.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I must imagine that obviously she knows that. So she's coming to like put on the show, you know?
This is my favorite version of Taylor Swift at an award show because you know what version I don't like?
Mm.
I won.
Uh
Bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up.
uh-huh.
Who the fuck else was it gonna be?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Sabrina. I'm kidding, Sabrina. But bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up, that was my
Mhm.
least favorite version, and she gave
She
us that
doesn't do that
version for
anymore?
years. She doesn't do that anymore. She
Uh,
doesn't do it anymore. She didn't do it yesterday. She didn't do it yesterday. She didn't do it at the VMAs. But that's my only bitch. If you don't get up
uh-huh.
there and just say thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't love that version of her. Um, consider she sweeps every award show. Like, babe, yes, it's you again.
Yeah. You know
Yes.
what really bothers me about this incarnation of the VMAs is where the celebrities sit. It's like they're sitting in the audience. Like obviously they're sitting in the audience, but like
Right.
it just it's
Amongst audience.
it seems weird to me and I don't like it.
There was a very clear seat filler next to Taylor Swift when she won one time,
I saw
and she
him.
hugged him.
Uh
What a time to be alive for that man.
uh interesting. What if that man
Good for
didn't
him.
like hugs?
He looked enamored by her for a minute there.
Okay.
I think
I mean, I
he
don't
he
know.
left on a high.
I'm sure, of course.
Yeah, I
Of
love that for
course.
her, for him. Um, I love Drunk Taylor. She did also lose a diamond though, so
She did.
she
Like a
did.
diamond that she
She
was wearing.
she was wearing a ring and the diamond popped off of it. And that there's pictures of the moment where she's showing it to one of her people and being like, and then there's video footage of a bunch of people in her area looking at the floor to see if they could find the diamond, and I don't think they did. So
Um,
she lost a diamond. I mean, chump change to her, babes.
I'm sure.
She's like, okay, what else
Do you
is
think
there?
it was real?
No, for sure it was real. For sure it was real. I bet her person was like, oh my God, fucking Taylor, you lost your ring. And she's like, okay, and
Uh-huh.
just pay it off.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't care. Yeah, it's crazy. I would poop myself if I lost a diamond ring, but to her, it's just,
Well, what was she gonna do?
I
Have
mean,
the
she's
house lights turned on? I mean,
she's literally like, get it out of my Tuesday streaming numbers. I mean, it's fine. I make that amount on a Tuesday. It's
uh,
fine.
yeah.
She's
What did
giving $100,000 bonuses to truck drivers, and she has like 20 of them. So she's okay.
she's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that come out to? Uh,
What? Bitch, if you don't, you set us up for failure every single time. And you know what? I'm not going to stand for it.
I'm
You don't
gonna
get, how dare you get on here and try to make us do math on a whim?
okay. I this I thought it was this, but I wasn't 100% sure. It's two
He
million
didn't know.
dollars.
He didn't know. You know what's annoying is I also thought it was that, but I didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want to be embarrassed.
I haven't taken a math class since senior year of high school, where I had to take algebra 2 the second time.
I also took algebra 2 a second time. That's so funny. But I also struggle with my nephew's fifth grade math homework. So,
Well, apparently it's a new type of math that they do now.
dude, math is not what it used to be. And you know what, bitch? If there was one thing that was supposed to always be, we would be able to trust in for forever, is math. But they
Well,
changed it up on
that's
us.
what they said.
They said that's
So,
the one thing you're always gonna know, you're always gonna need. Uh the fuck? I got to fifth grade math and I'm like, this makes no sense to me. Word problems, bitch, are the most confusing thing. The fuck you mean? Sabrina didn't even eat that many apples. What the fuck are we doing? I hate math, dude.
it's
I
so
fucking
stupid.
hate math. And you try to get us to do it on live on this podcast constantly, and we both look
Oh,
like
you're talking to
fools.
me?
You, and then we get on here, and then we both say, "Oh, I was gonna say that," and no one believes us. No one believes us. Every single audience member is like, "No, they fucking weren't." They're so embarrassing.
Okay. Well, listen. Okay.
I mean, it's true.
Whatever. Something else that happened at the VMAs
Okay.
in sync. NSYNC reunited.
Oh my God.
I think they
Millennials.
presented an award to Taylor Swift, right?
They did present an award to Taylor Swift.
They did, and she was also freaking out that it was NSYNC. Um, what happened? What was it? What were your feelings? How do you feel, Julie?
What?
Oh,
Yeah. Just excited.
uh-huh.
Because look, of course, yes, forever and always will I be a Justin Timberlake hater, 100%. But first and foremost, I am an NSYNC fangirl. At my core of my being, I am a fangirl. If they would be able to study what makes me me, at my core, I am a fangirl.
Mm-hmm.
And an NSYNC fangirl at that. So this
Mm-hmm.
makes me very excited. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a song coming. It is for the stupid ass Trolls movie, but there is a song coming. And rumor whispers are whispering that a tour may be imminent.
I think a tour is happening because I've heard that a tour is happening through other channels that are pretty reliable.
I've heard a tour is happening, not just from Dumois.
Yeah.
The streets are talking.
No, the streets are talking.
The
One of them
streets
is
are
talking.
the streets are talking like you wouldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
The West Hollywood street is talking the loudest.
Yeah.
The West Hollywood
Santa
street
Monica
can't
Boulevard.
shut the fuck up if we're being honest. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I will sell my kidney.
Mm-hmm.
Not even Ticketmaster will be able to stop me from getting. If I don't get a concert ticket to this NSYNC tour, I will burn down every single venue in America. Mark my words. That is a threat. That is a threat. I need everyone to understand that I don't mean it. Please don't sue me and arrest me. But I will be very fucking pissed if I don't get it. Oh, bitch.
Right.
If you don't know, it makes me ill from beginning to end, especially the rap verses. You stay off of Ticketmaster. You're not allowed a ticket. You get one if there's any left after us, because I know it. And if you don't know it, then don't even think about getting a ticket.
So you've never seen them live?
I've never seen them live. But I knew all their choreographies because you know who raised me? Their choreographer, Darren. Remember that VHS tape where he taught us the dance moves? Which not only did I have it, I watched it every single afternoon and I practiced the dance moves. And I was a fucking pro at the Bye 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 dance.
Yeah. Okay. I love that.
A lot is happening. Were you in NSYNC or a Backstreet Boys?
NSYNC, yeah.
Okay, good. Because this podcast was about to end. I was gonna just disconnect.
My sister and I were massive NSYNC fans.
Who was your favorite?
Don't do that.
You had to have one, and if you say Justin Timberlake, I swear to fucking God, bitch. Say it. Break my heart. Just do it like a Band-Aid. Who was your favorite?
Ooh, you're so mean. It was Justin Timberlake.
Of course he fucking was. Ramen hair and all, I bet.
About it. What do you want me to do about it? Huh? He was shoved down my throat. What do you want me to do about it?
I bet you wish he was shoved down your throat.
Yeah, I do.
Adrian,
okay, I do.
Disgusting.
Oh, you're disgusting. What you would do to JC Chazé?
The way I would ruin that man's life or make it better. Who was your sister's favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd have to ask her. I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't remember.
Well, it couldn't have been Justin Timberlake. It feels like you would remember that if you were constantly fighting over JT.
Maybe she was JC, but she had all their posters on the wall.
Bestie, floor to ceiling, my fucking walls.
Yeah.
One time, let me tell you about my childhood trauma. One time, my floor to wall posters of NSYNC and Britney and Spice Girls. Every inch of my wall. And my mom hated it. And she used to, my room was the biggest in our house, and she used to work out and do her little Taibo workout videos in my room. And every day she'd be like, you got to take some of these posters down. I'm tired of these white men judging me while I work out. Take some of these posters down. And I used to be like, I wish you'd make me, because I'm not doing it. And one day I was I was a very messy girly, and she used to wring my fucking neck about cleaning my room. And I was like, babe, we only live once. Why do you want me to waste my life cleaning my room? But
Uh-huh.
she used to always. And one Saturday, she was like, "You clean this room," and I was in the middle of cleaning it. Too slow for her, apparently. And she went in my room, and she was like, "When I mean clean your room, you need to take some of these posters down." And I said, "That's gonna be an NO from me, ma'am." And
Uh-huh.
she very angrily, because I was taking too long cleaning my room and I was giving her attitude, went to my posters, grabbed one, the biggest one, by the way, where they were in black and white individual pictures. It was this long poster that I had gotten. I still remember it perfectly. I had gotten it from this magazine. It was a limited edition poster, bitch. And she went and she ripped it in half, all of it, all across the wall, ripped it in half. It was a long poster, individual, ripped it in half. And I screamed as if she had stabbed me in the gut. I
Wow.
screamed like they were kidnapping me. A
Uh-huh.
scream that a horror movie girly would be envious of.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And I dropped to my knees in a fully dramatic
Uh-huh.
performance worthy of an Oscar.
Yeah.
And then afterward, and then of course, then I proceeded to clean my room. But that was the only poster she got off that wall. I said, "And for that mother, they're not coming down." And so then, like 2 weeks later, or like a week later, she felt really bad about it. And she's like, "Where can we go get that poster?" And I was like, "It was limited edition. We can't get it anywhere." She felt so bad afterwards because I literally was traumatized by it. And every time she'd come in my room, and I'd be like, "You're gonna rip a poster off the wall."
I'm not surprised by 1 second of that story.
And that's where my childhood trauma began. Did you have posters on your walls of NSYNC?
Did I have posters on my wall? Well, my sister and I shared a room for a while,
Okay.
but I have. I'm sure I had. I don't think I had
Interesting.
NSYNC posters. I
Okay.
don't know if I actually had posters on my wall once I got my own room. I don't
Well,
remember.
interesting. Well, you know how the kiddos are. Were you a brave NSYNC fan, or were you a silent NSYNC
Well,
fan?
what does a Brave NSYNC fan
Like
mean?
you would talk about it as opposed to being like, "I love NSYNC, but I'm not gonna tell nobody."
I mean, I don't think that I talked about any music that I liked when, like, to like kids at school
You're such an interesting
or
person.
to
What did you
who.
talk to children about?
I didn't see children other than my sister
You
or
didn't
the
go to
kids
school?
at school. No, well, yes, other than the kids at school, yes, but
What
like
did you talk to kids at school about?
I don't remember.
You guys, this Adrian problem is deeper than any of us thought. It's guys, we need to DM me. Let's create a group chat because we need to
I
investigate what the
have
fuck was going on with Adrian when he was a kid. Because what the fuck do you mean?
I have no memories of what I was talking about in school. I really don't. I also like I I didn't hang out with anybody outside of school.
Neither did I.
So like and I also was a very shy kid. So
But you had little friends. Please,
sure.
please tell me again.
Yeah,
Please
no,
tell me you had
yeah,
little
I
friends.
had friends at school, but I wouldn't be
Okay,
able to tell you what we talked about. No, and this is the God to honest truth.
I believe
I
you.
have no memory of what we would talk like. First of all, I don't talk to any. I don't have relationships with those people anymore, and so I don't have like. I'm trying to think of like I don't know. And
Yeah.
middle, I can remember most of like the last half of high school, but I don't remember much before then, and I definitely don't remember what I was talking to these people about.
Would you say, I mean, not to put your business out there, but would you say that you had like a sick, like a happy home life?
Yes, very.
Okay, so I think that's why, because I didn't have an unhappy, but I had, okay, seriously, this is childhood trauma. And I feel like I remember a lot of my school experience because
Mm.
I've blocked out a lot of home experience from my
Mm.
child. Like a lot of my childhood, I don't remember a lot of home stuff, or I have to
Mm-hmm.
actively search my brain for it. But like middle school, elementary, not so much, but middle school is very prominent in my brain. But I was also going through a lot at home in my middle school years. And I remember a lot of it. Like I vividly remember conversations about NSYNC in my
Mm.
brain. Like
Interesting.
remember a lot of I remember the fade fights. I remember that, oh, you're a Bastard Boy fan. That's embarrassing. That's they don't even harmonize.
I remember very specific things from like middle school. Like I remember when I think I've told this on the podcast before, like when Fernanda wanted to beat up
That
Sierra in the
bitch.
bathroom, like,
Mm.
and then I told on Fernanda. I remember that. Um what I remember when like my little group of friends nicknamed me Caves because I would always wear shorts and my calves were incredible and still are.
Of course they are.
And so because of my last name and my calves, they created caves. I have a very distinct memory of that. I have a memory of walking the mile, which I hated every week.
The
Uh,
Mayo bitch?
yeah.
Who came up
Um,
with that fucking idea?
I don't know.
Lazy ass
Um,
teachers.
mm, but I don't have to. Yeah, I don't remember what I was talking to these kids about. I will go out
Interesting.
and say I probably wasn't talking to them about NSYNC and listening to Britney Spears because at that age, I'm sure I was aware of me being gay, and so I wasn't
That's what I
blasting
mean.
them
I
out.
feel like for boy fans, it was a little bit more complicated because unfortunately, for some reason, NSYNC, British pop music in general has always been looked at as a girl thing.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right. Which is my mission in life to like make sure my nieces and nephews aren't ever embarrassed about the music that they listen to
that's my mission in
because
life too.
it's like it's music and all music is good no matter, I mean, it's subjective or whatever, but like nobody should ever be ashamed about the music that they listen to. Like pop music is good music.
Yes, pop
And
music is
so,
great music.
but different times.
Well, do you remember when it became embarrassing to listen to pop music?
um
There was a very in my like my high school experience was very there was a very clear shift as to like clear pop music was not cool to listen to anymore. And it was around the time that Avril Lavigne started appearing into the scene where it was like, oh, you listen to Britney Spears, that's so
sure, but
embarrassing.
I but that was also kind of societal too. Like society was trying to tell
Yes,
you that too.
pop music
Because
was not
I mean, I don't know. I just don't have any memories of like thinking about what these kids thought. I didn't, maybe I
interesting.
didn't care enough. Obviously, I didn't care enough to remember.
I
I
mean, look at
don't,
you.
yeah.
I mean, it's the
Because,
best thing you can do is not care about what other people want you
because
to care about.
I was going to come home and watch the recording of TRL with my sister anyway.
Right.
I
Do you
don't
remember where you were when NSYNC broke up?
know. I don't.
I do. I was
Okay.
in my living room.
Okay.
I turned on TRL
Uh-huh.
and they announced it.
Uh-huh.
And my life forever changed.
Yeah.
And it said, it's temporary. They said it's temporary. I didn't go to school the next day. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. I was devastated.
Mhm.
I was devastated. I
Mm.
was, oh my God. Remember when One Direction broke up? Or they took that break and everyone was like, they said they'll be back. I was like, oh, babies, prepare yourselves. They're not coming back. But honestly, I felt for them. I was like, I remember this pain because it really is, it feels personal. It's like, it feels like they called me directly and were like, Julie, we're not gonna be together anymore. And it hurt like for realsies. Like it was like a real thing. I was devastated. Um, and I blamed it all on Justin.
I don't think it was ever that important to me because I don't remember it. I
Oh
don't have a
God. I
memory
love
of
that for
like
you.
feeling any type of way after they broke up. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure thinking about who I was and how I consumed things, I was probably shocked.
Yeah.
but after the initial shock, I'm not sure that I had any other reaction. Maybe I did, but I truly don't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, NSYNC was I mean, again, I was going through a lot during those years.
Right.
And
Right.
so I mean, I've always gravitated towards
Right.
music. And so Britney, NSYNC, Spice Girls, I mean, very prominent in my life of music that kind of distracted me from bullshit that I was going through. Um, Pop music saves lives, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that's not sarcastic. That's actually really pop music is, I mean, it's the essence of existence. I think so. I mean,
Mm,
all music is beautiful, but I think that pop music is so much more than that. And I think connections that people make with pop music is so much more intense than any connection that you can make with any other artist. The love that I have for Britney Spears, NSYNC, and the Spice Girls is beyond anything that I've any obsession that I've felt for any other musician. Like Hozier has created music that has changed my life. Sarah Bareilles and yet Jason Mraz literally saved my life. His music did because I ended up falling asleep to it instead of killing myself. But it's not funny. But you got to laugh about it at this point. But none of that compares to the literal feelings I have in my heart for NSYNC and Britney Spears and Spice Girls. I feel like that music was so formative for me and for what I do, for what we do now, talking about pop culture and the things that I love. And I think they've informed a lot of who I am now. But yeah, dude, NSYNC. I hate Justin Timberlake, but I love him when he's with those other four. I don't even care. At that point, I'm like, you know what, JT? Okay, you threw Janet Jackson under the bus. Is it even that bad? I'm just kidding. No, it is horrible. You're a terrible human being. But I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna watch it, and I'll be there for it.
when did they break up? Like 2003?
I believe so. I don't know the exact date, but I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, I
It
think
was
it
early
was
2000s. It was right after their Pop Odyssey tour. And we all should have seen it coming because Gone was a clear indicator that something was wrong within that band.
so funny. I love that song. Um,
It's a good song.
listen, we could talk about NSYNC forever, but
And I would.
and well, I'm sure we will
But
because I don't think they're
we
going
haven't
anywhere.
said the most. I don't. Did you mention that there's a? Oh, we did. That there's a new song coming out.
Yeah,
Trolls.
yeah. Which Julie's gonna do a live reaction to,
I don't know about a live reaction, but I will
or
record my
record it.
reaction
Yes,
and then
yeah.
we're gonna upload it to my YouTube. So get ready for screams.
To our, you're gonna upload it to the Yumi and Chisme YouTube, right?
Yeah, did I not say to
You
our
said my
YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, I just want to make sure we send people to the right one.
I could have sworn I said to our YouTube. I apologize. It is
Angie,
our
roll the tape.
Jaime, pull up the transcripts. Um, to our YouTube, to Yumi and Chisme's YouTube page.
I cannot wait to see what you have to say about this.
So subscribe to that. We have 51 subscribers.
I know. It's incredible. Thanks to you.
Wow.
I mean, it's incredible.
Wow. I don't even know how it happened, but I'm very glad you're all here.
Excellent. Okay, next up on the pop culture pop up, Jonathan Majors. There's a story about him going around that he conveniently broke up a high school fight, while he was at In and Out. Was he at In and Out?
Yeah, he was not in and out.
There's a high school next to this is the In and Out that I go to, by the way.
Right.
There's a high school next to it, and apparently there was a fight, and he went to go break it up.
He went to break up a fight.
Tell us.
Two things. Three things. Jonathan Majors is one of my biggest heartbreaks. What a shame that he is an abusive piece of shit. Another thing. This is very clearly a PR move. This is very a violent man, a man who's allegedly violent breaks up a violent fight. Babes. Third thing. PR is back, baby. Hollywood is back. Hollywood is back, baby. They are making moves. They are planting stories. They're calling magazines. It's Hollywood is here. It's a shame that there's a strike because you know what Jonathan Majors is doing? Acting. He's a scab. He's a scab. He crossed the picket line because he gave a performance. I watched the video. It's on TMZ. Well, it's all over Twitter now. Yes, apparently there's some high school kids fighting at Hollywood High School. He was at the In-N-Out across the street. He happened to see what was happening, ran across the street to save the day. It was touch and go for, oh, you guys need to read this article because it looks like it reads like a PR person actively handed money to a writer and said, do your best work. And it was a touch and go for a little bit. Sure, this man is strong, but the kids were agile and they wouldn't let go of each other and they were fighting. But Jonathan Majors persisted because he knew that these kids shouldn't be fighting, and he broke up this fight. Interesting that this happens while he's in the middle of an active court case because he is allegedly an abusive man who hits his girlfriend, allegedly. So just very interesting bullshit that we're breaking news. Jonathan Majors thinks you're an idiot and you're going to buy this story.
Hear it from us first. Don't buy into it.
Don't buy into it.
I mean, a high school fight across the street at the In-N-Out.
That you happen to be at Jonathan Majors.
And also, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Say it because I saw a different angle of the video. Say it.
I don't know
say what you're going to say.
Same thing. I'm pretty sure that right next to the In-N-Out, it's an adult school. And then further down the block is the high school.
That's not it. Well, that's what I was going to say is from the angle of it. I don't know what In-N-Out we're talking about. I don't know which one is Hollywood Street? Hollywood High School. Is that the one with John Ritter outside of it? Or is that another high school?
I don't remember. It's on
There's
Sunset.
like a mural of, is that where they do the Jimmy Kimmel? Across the street of where they do the Jimmy Kimmel outside concerts?
It might be, yeah. But the In-N-Out is on Sunset. And then Jimmy Kimmel technically is facing Hollywood Boulevard. So they meet in those in-betweens.
I can't picture the In-N-Out. But from the angle that I saw, it looks like, oh, go to our YouTube page because I don't know how to describe this with words. It looks like they're like this. The high school is here and the In-N-Out is on this end. How did he see that?
I haven't seen the video.
It looks like the In-N-Out is in this corner and the high school is in this corner at an angle. And he would have had to look, what I'm thinking is he would have either had to look, we'd have to see how the drive-through is set up. But it looks like from how I see it that he would have had to look either behind him to see it or at an angle in front of him to be able to see this fight. Because it wasn't like they were fighting openly in the street. They were like in an alley of some sort or in the corner of some sort.
Okay.
What we're saying is this didn't happen. It's not a real scenario.
Are they in some kind of...
That's what I'm saying.
Are they in an alley?
That's what I'm saying. Here's proof that Adrian listened to zero of the words that I said.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying.
This is the fakest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I don't even have the audio on.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
They're like in an alley of some sort. That's why I'm saying, how did he even see it?
It looks like it's filmed in a studio lot. This is so funny.
What I'm saying is he had to actively go into an alley and be like, are the kids fighting in here? Like, it just looks like there's no way.
Why is this kid recording on his laptop?
That's another question I have. Is why are you on a Zoom call, sir? It looks weird. It looks weird. To me, it looks very clearly staged. Look, if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words easily.
I don't think you are.
It does look staged. Even his behavior when he walks in, that's not a man trying to break up a fight. That's a man, oh, how do I say it? Carefully choosing where he moves between two people that are fighting. You know what I mean? It looks like choreography.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he runs in to actively stop something. It looks like he carefully walks, and maybe you're like, oh, well, kids are fighting. He didn't want to hurt them. Shut the fuck up. It looks staged.
Embarrassing.
It looks embarrassing.
Ugh, okay. Okay. Finally, on the pop culture pop-up, the talk shows. They're coming back. in the midst
December.
of the strike. So at first it was reported that the Drew Barrymore show would return. Now it's confirmed that Real Time with Bill Maher, The Talk, and the Jennifer Hudson Show will all return amid the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. A lot of people are criticizing, particularly Drew, I think, because she was the first one.
She was the first.
But should they be crossing the picket lines?
No. Point blank. No. It's a shame that Drew Barrymore has chosen this road for herself, considering that she had so much good grace and so much public love, and she is literally throwing that down the drain to cross the picket line. She knows that it's a bad idea. She writes it. I own this decision. She knows that it's a decision that isn't going to bode well for her. Or she says she started her show in the middle of a pandemic, and her show was very interesting because it started in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of her interviews were being had over Zoom calls studio, and she didn't have an audience, and it was hard for her to get the traction that she did for her show, and she did. And she did. People would have waited for her. And maybe she was feeling like the studio wouldn't. The studio would be like, you know what? We're not going to keep you around because no one is working and we're going to cancel the show. And that's not what she wanted. A selfish behavior, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying, "What? How is this different?" Because A24 is promoting their movies in Venice at the Venice Film Festival. This is different because A24 got with SAG and the guilds and said, we're going to abide by the guidelines that you're giving us. If you're saying this is what we need to be paying people, we're going to do it. And A24 decided to abide by the rules that the unions are fighting for. And Drew just said, we're going to come back, but without writers. And let me tell you, a talk show, there's no way that it works without writers. She's going to have something written down. Who is writing that material? People that are crossing the picket line. I don't know. It's disappointing. It's sad because at the end of the day, sure, you're saving your show and you're saving the camera people's work and you're saving producers' work and the makeup people work and all of this the stuff that you're saying, right? That's where you're coming back because you want to not get rid of all these jobs. What about the writers of your show though? You're letting them out to dry. And now you've set a precedent, a horrible precedent, that now Jennifer Hudson and The Talk and the Bill Maher Show are following lead on because you did it. And I hope to God Kelly Clarkson holds on to that willpower and doesn't do it. Because Kelly, I will also talk shit on you. I'll do it. It's going to hurt, but I'll do it.
Yeah, it's a very sad situation all around. Um, and let's not forget who the real villains here are: the executives of the studios, who are still unwilling to make any type of compromise with the unions for their own selfish delusional greed.
Yes,
it's really crazy that they haven't been able to make something work. Like, what are you gonna do? Just not. I mean, it's very weird. I feel for the people who are outside every day picketing, like, and how exhausting that must be, because like you don't, you have to go find other work. And
I feel for the writers that were getting paid so little that they don't have savings and they don't have anything right now.
Most of them already work other jobs.
Yeah.
And it's just so sad that like in one of the richest industries in the richest country in the world, you can't provide a decent living for people. I saw this thing on TikTok. I have no idea who this man is, or on Twitter. I don't know where it was. I have no idea who he is. He's the founder of some kind of corporation. And basically he was talking, oh, I saw this on LinkedIn. Was it on LinkedIn? I don't know where I saw it. Anyways, not important. There's a video of this man at some type of conference and he's sitting for some kind of interview. and basically is saying that like the pandemic allowed employees to become so bold and ask for things that, you know, they don't really deserve, or his biggest point was not do as much work as needed. And so now
Mhm.
people have certain expectations and demands and whatnot. And he's like, we can't have that. This is a man who owns a business. He's like,
Yeah.
we can't, we need to turn the tide. We need unemployment to go down. People need to lose their jobs so that people are more willing to come and work. And it was just so psycho. It was so incredibly, utterly psycho. I feel like most people don't mind working. They don't mind doing things that they enjoy and finally and finding productivity out of it. But the way in which people are paid and the way in which people are treated
He
and the
did.
way in which people are pushed aside and thought of at the bottom of all of the list of priorities is an issue.
Yeah.
And why people can't work and live comfortably is
Beyond me.
insane. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You get to
There
leave,
it is.
you get to leave and do whatever you want and
Yeah.
make a shit ton of money
Mm-hmm.
and provide not just for your family, but I'm sure for many other people that you support.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you take a little bit of that because you don't need that much money and give it to the people who are actually keeping your business afloat.
Mm-hmm.
It's so incredibly, and also you're gonna die. We're gonna die. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, just
That's a threat. I'm just kidding.
just let people live
I mean,
comfortably.
comfortably.
And how about you try living on the fucking street? I
It's
mean,
wild.
it's embarrassing.
This behavior is wild. The studios are, it's asinine. It's asinine. For the you're treating the people that are the face of your projects and the literal creators of your projects. You would have no Succession without writers. You would have no Game of Thrones without writers. Literally, because it came from a book. You would have none of it if writers didn't exist. Like this doesn't make it doesn't make sense to me that writers aren't the highest paid here, amongst the highest paid, because it's literally where the ideas come from. And the faces that you're not giving residual to the faces. The Friends cast would literally be able to live just based off their residuals because they were on network television. And once their show, after 5 years, went into syndication, they would be able to live off of the residuals of that alone. Alone. And the fact that now, because of streaming services and the way that studios got a little smart and were able to take advantage of the system before anyone knew to understand it properly, are able to. Breaking Bad, Aaron,
Oh,
yes, was saying that he makes no money off of Breaking Bad. The Suits actors and actresses, I bet, make no money off of Suits, and it's the highest watched show on Netflix currently. A show
right.
that has been off the air for how many years,
Right.
and they make no money off of
And
that.
Netflix didn't have to do anything other than pay for like a licensing fee or something. Like
Yeah,
it's really wild. And most of these executives they can't manage their own calendar. They barely write their own emails. I mean, what do they do? I don't know.
be
I
white.
don't know. Right. Okay. Well, that's going to do for the pop culture pop up. We'll be back next week with more pop culture chisme. Julie, do you have a next spotlight for us?
I do, I do. I want to bring it back a little bit to the VMAs. VMAs were Latinx spotlight like you wouldn't believe. Everybody was there. Anita won, who, by the way, I just recently found out who Anita is, and that's a little embarrassing because she has 64 million followers on Instagram. She's a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm
Yeah.
barely finding out who she is. Anita won for best Latin artist, I believe. Carol G and Shakira won for best collaboration, and Carol G also hit the stage. Shakira hit the stage. She got a Vanguard Award, well deserved. I wish she would have performed a little bit more off of her first two albums, but I realized because of the audience that she had in front of her, that maybe wasn't possible. Alas. Also, phenomenon of regional music, Peso Pluma, 24-year-old Peso Pluma, who I'm not, babes, you guys are gonna look me in the face and tell me you guys are understanding what he's singing. All of you understand his lyrics. I listen to his songs. I don't know what he's saying. Not one word. I have to look it up every single time. But I love that he's so popular. A Mexican breakout star, who was recently threatened by a Tijuana cartel, by the way. It's dangerous to be in regional music, unfortunately. But his name is Hassan Emilio Cavande Laija. That's how you know Mexican. That right there, that's all you need to know. But he got to perform on the stage, and I think, don't quote me, first Mexican artist to hit the VMA stage. What a blast and embarrassment that it's the first one. But I think it was great. And honestly, I think the VMAs really are one of the best award shows to showcase how diverse America's listening experiences, because they really have K-pop up there. They have Latino artists up there. Carol G accepting her award in Spanish. Love that for her. You know what I mean? They really do try to get a range of a little bit of everything, which I think is a struggle sometimes in other award shows or in general to get some diversity anywhere. But I think VMAs, I mean, they're problematic and they're trash most of the time. But I think in that, they do try to uplift all of the genres. I mean, they keep putting Rosalia in Latin music categories, but alas, they do their best, I think.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is some azúcar. I will go first. My azúcar this week is my girl Olivia is back. Olivia Rodrigo. Yes. She released Guts, and she put her guts into it.
You like it? You like it?
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I was gonna like it anyways. It could be a horrible album. Okay. I'd just be like, I like it. So
okay. Good to know.
But yeah, it's a fantastic little pop album, and
yeah,
she is fun and cute, and
she is fun.
And I don't know the name of the man who helps her with her music, but both of them together are truly talented. It's very good. Guts.
Interesting. Guts
by Olivia Rodrigo.
I started listening to it, and I don't know why I didn't finish listening to it. That's not something I usually do. If I start an album, I'll finish the album at the first listen. But I didn't listen to all of it. I don't know why that was. I want to go back to it though. I think Olivia Rodrigo is extremely talented.
Yeah.
My azúcar this week is Jessica Chastain is the actress of our generation. I think we need to talk about that a little bit more often. What's his name? Adrian got Showtime on his Paramount TV.
I did?
I mean, it's on there. Well, I was able to watch George and Tammy.
I'm not paying for it.
Well, it's on there. I don't know. Well, I clicked on George and Tammy and it let me watch it.
Okay,
well, it showed up as it showed up as a recommended thing. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was Showtime until I looked up the poster for it. And I was like, oh, this is a Showtime TV show.
I should look into that.
You should look into that, because I was also surprised. Because it used to have a little lock on the shows.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it showed up on my thing as this is something you might like. And I was like, okay, if you insist.
Interesting.
And I clicked on it, and then I didn't realize it was Showtime until I looked up. I posted the poster of it on my Instagram, and then I was like, oh, it's a Showtime show. Any hoozle, I got to watch George and Tammy, based on George and Tammy Jones, country singers back in years past, and a la Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley, a la Johnny Cash and his wife.
Carter Cash.
Of course, obviously, duh. Heartbreaking story. Michael Shannon and Jessica Chastain star as George and Tammy. Heartbreaking story, as are all of the stories of musicians at that time, unfortunately. Jessica Chastain puts her foot in the entire performance. The last episode is gut-wrenching. It's very sad. It's, I think, only 6 episodes. You can watch it. It's phenomenal television. Phenomenal television. Great miniseries. It will rip your heart out. Great music. Jessica Chastain, babe, I didn't know she was a singer. I mean, it's a very simple vocals. She's not doing anything extraordinary here, but great performance. And she really, I look at Jessica at the beginning of a show or a movie or something. I'm like, oh, that's Jessica. Quickly, do you forget that you're looking at Jessica Chastain? And she completely transforms into her performances. She is one of the greatest actresses of our generation.
Jessica, come on the pod.
I would piss myself.
Come on the pod, Jessica. All right. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us. We've reached the end of the episode. Thank you for making it all this way. Make sure that you follow, subscribe, review, do all the fun things you could do with this podcast on the internet. Make sure that you leave a review, a rating. That would be immensely helpful. Make sure that you share this with somebody that you love. That would also be very helpful. And we'll be back next week with more Chisme. But until then, make sure you have lots of love, lots of peace, and most importantly, lots of Chisme in your life. Bye.
Bye.